वेलकम टू वीलर्न। वीलर्न में आपका स्वागत है। वी आर डिस्कसिंग मार्केटिंग रिसर्च सेशन 8 क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च। टॉपिक्स कवर्ड आर इंट्रोडक्शन टू क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च, व्हाट इज क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च, difference between qualitative and quantitative research, uses of qualitative research, methods of conducting qualitative research, latest techniques of qualitative research. An introduction to qualitative research. Now there are various methods जिससे an information about the consumer can be obtained. The methods could be the physiological method or the secondary data. There could be a method about experimentation about which the consumer's information could be collected. There could be projective techniques through which information could be collected. Then comes observation. There are surveys which are questionnaires, simple questionnaires, and questionnaires which are on latitudinal scales through which information is collected about the consumer. Now, when we say what is qualitative research, qualitative research basically diagnostic होती है nature में and it is very exploratory. It also takes care of small number of people, those who are not the sample, on any probabilistic basis. हम बात करें कि क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च अनलाइक क्वांटिटेटिव रिसर्च इट इज वेरी इम्प्रेशनिस्टिक और क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च इज बेसिकली यूज्ड टू जनरेट हाइपोथेसिस फॉर फर्दर रिसर्च. नाउ अनदर इनसाइट, थ्रू क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च one can get very subtle clues about the products or services that very few quantitative studies could replicate. In a market research project, one normally use qualitative research and quantitative research methods together. When we talk about differences between qualitative research and quantitative research, qualitative research जो method है, it is basically exploratory और diagnostic होता है. It is used in cases where the behavior is to be understood and where hypothesis is to be generated. In case of quantitative research, once the hypothesis is generated, it is used to test out the hypothesis. The second distinction is there is no calculation of sample size which is possible. और जो sample size है to a large extent it is dependent upon the availability of the conduct research or the cost. In case of quantitative research, generally what happens, a probabilistic approach is used which helps in calculating the sample size. Another distinction is that the sample which is collected, it represents different sections of the population. In case of quantitative research, a random selection of respondent which forms the part of the research work, they may or they may not represent the different population segments. The last is, it is very dangerous in case of qualitative research to generalize the conclusions for the entire population. And in case of qualitative research, when we talk about conclusions, they are generalized to the universe of which the sample purports to be presented. Then comes uses of qualitative research. अब जब हम qualitative research की बात करते हैं, so wherever companies want to develop a new product or when they want to modify the existing product, it conducts qualitative research. तो अगर हम nutshell में बात करें तो qualitative research is basically used in concept generation and evaluation. Furthermore, the qualitative research किसी भी प्रॉब्लम को डिफाइन करने में, प्रॉब्लम एरिया को डिफाइन करने में इज वेरी हेल्पफुल. When we talk about in marketing research, one normally starts with the qualitative research, जो कि quantitative research के through validate करी जाती है. Furthermore, all types of qualitative research, they are used to formulate the hypothesis for further investigation. And when large amount of data about certain beliefs or attitudes they need to be obtained, then qualitative research analysis is done. Furthermore, qualitative research is very helpful in case of conducting post-research study when we talk about. In some areas of marketing research, especially when we try to understand the consumer behavior, a more flexible approach is required rather than a rigid approach. So qualitative research is a very appropriate thing. When we talk about methods of qualitative research, जो पहला method है, that is referred to as in-depth or intensive interviews. In-depth interviews, they can further be classified as non-directive interviews and semi-directive interviews. Now what happens in case of a non-directive interview, the respondent is given a maximum freedom to respond in the manner in which he wishes to respond. Right? Now what happens, and he is also given a reasonable time for the discussion. But it is to be noted that here the interviewer, he retains the initiative in the interview process. Otherwise what will happen, the focus of the interview would be lost. Thus in this technique, the respondent is given a chance to freely express his likes or thoughts, which acts as an important feedback to the company regarding the product or a service. In case of semi-structured or focused interview, the initiative is retained by the interviewer and the interview has a cover specific list of points which are then decided in advance. So there is also a tighter control over the interview in order to maximize the data collection and also collect data which is relevant to the topic. When we talk about uses of a qualitative research, one is in-depth interview. They are appropriate in various cases. First, where a detailed probing about an individual's behavior or attitude is required. In that case, in-depth interviews are done. Furthermore, when the subject matter is of highly confidential nature, then an in-depth interview is conducted. Also, when the subject matter is of emotionally charged or where it is of an embarrassing nature, then an in-depth interview is conducted. Where it is necessary for a step-by-step understanding and where there are complicated decisions involved, qualitative and in-depth interviews are taken care of. Furthermore, जहाँ पे इंटरव्यू बहुत हाईली प्रोफेशनल, हाईली स्किल्ड प्रोफेशनल्स के साथ होते हैं, जहाँ पर खाली क्वेश्चनर्स इंफॉर्मेशन गैदरिंग का काम suffice नहीं करता, in that case in-depth interview is coupled with the questionnaire method. Also, in a case where respondents, they may not be able to express their true feelings in a group discussion, in that scenario in-depth interviews are conducted. When we talk about limitations of the in-depth interview, जो सबसे बड़ी limitation है कि interviewer की skill is very critical in drawing out the respondents' true feelings. So, जब skill of the interview and the interviewer he does not possess the requisite skills, then there is a problem area. Furthermore, अगर हम देखें in an interview scenario, हर बार सिर्फ verbal communication नहीं होती, there are non-verbal communications that also happen, and the interviewer, he should also keep a track of the respondent's tone, क्या उसके gesture हैं, क्या facial expressions हैं. Then A sample size in case of an in-depth interview cannot assume a larger proportion because conducting an in-depth interview it takes a lot of time and making a sample size large delays the process. Then while analyzing and interpreting of data, it is a subjective process. So generalization to the entire population it cannot be done. So in-depth interview they act as a source of generation of hypothesis, development of questionnaire for further research work. Now when we talk about methods of conducting qualitative research, तो होता है focus group discussion. Now there are two broad ways in which group discussion happens. First is brainstorming and another is focused group discussion. When we talk about brainstorming, so brainstorming is a method where there are no moderators for the group and the group they freely expresses their ideas on a given topic. The ideas they could be absolutely abstract, but then this would also help in generating new product ideas and better ways of conducting a particular business. When we talk about focused group discussion, this is a method where the group is given a topic and they are asked to discuss. A moderator also is involved in order to ensure that the group remains relevant and the discussion remains relevant and they do not go off the track. Now the moderator he is required and he could stop the discussion between time intervals to find out what conclusions are basically being drawn by the group after each time interval. When we talk about size and composition of a group discussion panel, कोई correct size prescribed नहीं किया गया है for any group discussion. Now the size of the group it basically depends on the क्या subject matter है and what are the type of participants. Normal parlance में हम देखें तो and in normal situation 8 to 12 individuals in a group discussion panels they form a very ideal size. But in case of highly professional or articulate people, the ideal size could be 5 to 6 participants in a group. So the group members, they should be such that it reflects the characteristic of a particular market segment. That market segment which is under study. And the sampling plan which is drawn up first, that helps in deciding the composition of group discussion panel members. When we talk about application areas of group discussion, किन situations में group discussions could be used? पहली situation है कि अगर कोई नया product idea है उसको develop करने के लिए और there is some abstract concept, in that case group discussion could be used. There is a situation जहाँ पर product positioning की idea है, उस केस में group discussion का use बहुत effective होता है. Then there is a situation जहाँ पे hidden feelings को या attitudes of the customer को हम determine करना चाहते हैं, तब group discussion एक बहुत अच्छा method बन जाता है. Furthermore, जहाँ पे consumer की vocabulary को establish किया जाए, and as a preliminary step where developing the questionnaire is also group discussion becomes a very vital component. जहाँ पे advertising और communication research है, their group discussion plays a very essential role. And in case communication research की बात करते हैं तो what is to be said to the customer and how it is to be said and what could be the focus area of the message, these are the areas where group discussions could be applied. When we talk about advantages of group discussion, ग्रुप डिस्कशंस में जो इंटरैक्शन अमंग मेंबर्स होती है दे हेल्प इन जनरेटिंग न्यू आइडियाज और दे सर्व एज अ बेसिस फॉर एन इन डेप्थ इंडिविजुअल इंटरव्यू सिचुएशन. फर्स्ट, दूसरी सिचुएशन होती है जो ग्रुप डिस्कशंस हैं They lead to a conversation and a continuity in conversation. Because of this continuity in conversation, it leads to more prescribed and seeable results. And this actually does not happen with individual interview situation. Lastly, ग्रुप सेटिंग जो होती है एक इमोशनली प्रोवोकेटिव सिचुएशन होती है और ये it helps in making a thinking process go on the rails to a very high rate. When we talk about disadvantages of group discussion, the very first disadvantage of a group discussion is the qualified and trained personnel are required. An untrained person and a person who cannot analyze the group discussion actually hampers the very purpose of group discussion. Then analysis and interpretation is highly very subjective. And lastly, only a few members in the group, they tend to dominate the entire discussion. So the views of all the people cannot be gathered because they are dominant by only few members. Then methods of conducting qualitative research. First is projective technique. When we talk about projective technique here, when a researcher is conducting an in-depth interview or he is conducting a survey through the questionnaire method, he might face the problem in the form of language barriers. Or maybe the respondent may be illiterate, or there could be psychological barriers. इन सारी प्रॉब्लम्स को, इन सारे बैरियर्स को ओवरकम करने के लिए the researcher he can replace the questionnaire with the projective technique. Now the basic underlying concept behind the projective technique is that in situations there is a possibility and that the information could not be obtained. The correct information could not be obtained. What actually a person thinks or feels by asking him to describe his or her feeling. In this case, the information can be obtained by making the respondent to project his feeling onto some other person or object. There are different techniques which are used, different types of projective techniques. पहला है word association test. Word association test में respondent is presented with a list of stimulus words. और हर एक word के लिए he is asked to respond what he actually thinks about the word. Now the respondent, he is not given the time to think about the responses. The idea क्या है इसके पीछे? First thought responses, they are likely to reveal the true feelings. Then comes sentence completion test. ये वर्ड एसोसिएशन टेस्ट का एक एक्सटेंशन है. इसमें रिस्पोंडेंट ही इज आस्क्ड टू फिनिश द सेंटेंस, इनकम्प्लीट सेंटेंसेस विद द फर्स्ट थॉट दैट कम्स इनटू हिज माइंड. देन इज द फैंटेसी सिचुएशन. हम फैंटेसी सिचुएशन की बात करते हैं तो यहाँ पे रिस्पोंडेंट्स को इमेजिन करने के लिए कहा जाता है दैट दे आर कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ प्रोडक्ट इटसेल्फ. इससे क्या होता है, रिस्पोंडेंट्स they start imagining themselves to be a product and they give the human characteristics to the product. Now this method is used for developing brand perception and brand personality. Another is cartoon completion. In this method what happened, the respondent is shown a cartoon which is very similar to a comic strip. Now with the balloon indicating speech. Usually what happens, two people, they are shown talking to each other about a particular product, service or a situation, but only one balloon contains the speech. Here what happens, the situation that is shown to the cartoon is obviously of special interest to the researcher and is part of the research project on hand. Now the respondent has to fill the other balloon with his answer to what the other person might be saying or is saying. Then picture interpretation, that is thematic appreciation test. Picture interpretation or thematic appreciation test we say. So along with the Rorschach inkball test, it is probably the most widely known and used projective technique in any kind of clinical psychology. Now the basic technique which is used is also applied in marketing research also. Here what happens, the respondent is shown a picture, either a line drawing or an illustration, and he is then asked to describe what is going on or tell a story about what is being illustrated. Another is observation method. It is again a very powerful tool of getting information about the customer. This method is used for recording the behavior of people, object or events. Now there are informal observations which are extremely and extensively used for observing customer buying pattern or the impact of competitive advertising on the buying. Right? Observation technique, when we talk about, it is always used in conjunction with other research technique. The inherent danger in this method is that one could draw wrong conclusion because it is very subjective. Now the advantages of observation technique is that because it does not rely on the willingness of the respondent to cooperate and provide information, then true pictures are shown. Another is behavior patterns of which a respondent is not aware of. They can be recorded by observation only, like facial expression of a consumer while he is examining a new product in a store. There are certain disadvantages. When we say by observation method, one can only observe a consumer belief, feeling or awareness, right? They have to be coupled with other research technique. It could be focus group or in-depth interview. That is essential. The second disadvantage is that the observed behavior pattern, it may be of the short duration and they should occur frequently in order to qualify for the observation and act as input to other research techniques as well. Now classification of group techniques, when we talk about, one is natural versus contrived observation. Natural observation is recorded and it is a recording of consumer behavior as and when it takes place. And contrived observation is one in which an artificial environment is created and the consumer behavior is observed. Another is disguised and undisguised observation. Disguised basically refers to a situation whether or not consumer is being made aware of him being observed. Another is structured versus unstructured. In case of structured observation, so the decision problem has been clearly defined. In case of non-structured and unstructured observation, the problem is yet to be defined and formulated. Last is human versus mechanical observation. So by replacing humans with mechanical devices, the accuracy of the observation, it tends to increase. The observer's bias is also reduced and it lowers the cost as well. The latest techniques of qualitative research is, first is imagery technique. Now imagery technique is used to determine the images of two competing brands. Another is semiotics. This technique gives the researcher an insight into the intuitive or emotional impressions of the consumer for either a brand or advertised campaign. And lastly is the neuro-linguistic programming. This technique, it provides an insight into the non-verbal impact of an advertisement on the target consumer. This is done by analyzing as to which of the 5 senses a consumer uses to recall an advertisement. 2 exercises. What are the various methods of conducting qualitative research? Discuss advantages and limitation of each of these methods and highlight the main differences between qualitative and quantitative research. Thank you and have a nice day. Keep learning and relearning.